welcome back to Between Two Screens. Want to welcome David Ashen here with us today, the founder and principal of Dash Design. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ari. How are you? Sorry, my cat in the background, just grabbing at me.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right.
I'm working at home.
Right when we went live, she's like, let me in there. What's your cat's name?
He is Leon.
Leon. Right on.
Lucy. Yeah, it looks like a lion.
Right. Very cool. So tell us where you are and where you've been working over the past few months.
Yeah, I'm about 100 miles north of New York City in Rhinebeck, New York. So hadn't really been back in Brooklyn where I live in a few months since March when I left. Right across the river is Kingston, New York, and I have a little office there. So I've been able to escape there and have some normalcy because of that. Awesome.
And the office in Long Island City is closed for now?
It's been closed. Yeah, we're working to get it ready to open right after Labor Day.
And are you going to give designers the option to come back? Is it going to be in groups? Have you planned that far?
Yeah, we're going to split us. We're fortunate because we have about 6,000 square foot of space,
right,
and about 20 people. So it's we're able to space people very, very well. We have no elevators, which is cool. So we're going to split people into two groups because our studio, you've been there, it's split up into about 9 kind of smaller studios, so there'll really be no more than one person per studio anytime we're there.
Great.
So get everyone in 2 days a week is the goal.
So in a lot of what I've read and researching before this episode about you and the projects that you work on is the amount of passion that you bring towards your role, towards a job in the industry. Was that your passion for architecture and design something that you had from when you were a kid, or was it something that you sort of developed along the way? Love to hear just what path your career took.
Since I was like the age of 4, I wanted to be an architect.
Wow.
Kind of strayed a little bit in high school, but it was kind of predetermined in a weird way. Always had a fascination of buildings and houses, and I kept to myself a lot. So I'm super introverted, and I would build lots of little Lego. I mean, it's been hours building Lego houses and stuff. I went through the public school system, so there's not a lot of attention to the arts in upper years. Ended up going to school for engineering. And of course, my mother said, you better go to school that has an architecture program because you're going to be an architect. I said, no, I'm not. And I didn't go to school with an architecture program. I did get interested in it again when I was in university and got to take a really good program at Harvard, which got me, kind of hooked me. And then I went on to graduate school.
Was there ever a point in your career that you thought maybe this actually isn't for me?
Every day. I didn't go a traditional route. I don't practice architecture. I practice interior design. Our work also, we do branding, and I'm more strategic in the work we do. So I get bored. I have like a 7-year cycle. So when you own your own business, it's harder to shift. So I'm always thinking, what's the next step? What's the next thing I want to do?
Can you tell us what you're thinking about next? Where do you see your next 7-year cycle?
In terms of typology, I mean, again, I love hospitality, and we're switching it up a little bit and doing some work in senior living, which I find also kind of in a place where hospitality was about 25 years ago. And what I find, it's very rewarding, and there's a lot of issues in that category and sector. The people that are in this category are super passionate about it. So I find that there's a lot of meaning in the potential work we can do there. And we're starting to do some very interesting projects and high level thinking. I bought a really amazing historic old building in Kingston, New York. It's 350 years old.
Wow.
And we've been renovating that. And I like the idea of developing my own projects. We recently invested in a hotel in Colorado. That's kind of fun to kind of be part of a ownership group. I mean, though I'm a minority owner, but
okay.
So just branching out and using what I do to kind of develop my own projects is kind of where I'd like to go.
That's great. It's nice to be on the other side of the table, even if you're in a smaller seat.
Yeah.
Going back to your you mentioned before getting involved with other projects. So, at Dash, you're a designer, you're an owner. I know you're involved in client relations. You're acquiring property in Kingston. You're investing in hotels. How do you structure your day or your week? Like, do you have certain days that you focus on certain of those projects? What do you recommend for entrepreneurs who also have maybe their hand in various different, sometimes unrelated initiatives?
Yeah, I am probably one of the least organized people. I'm really suck at focusing on one thing at one time.
Mhm.
So I need to have, 30, 40 things happening. And I need to have good people around me who can help move those things along. I have a strange capacity to be able to keep track of maybe 100 things at any one time that are going on, which is good and bad. So I can track lots of little things and have a good retention, but I need the diversity or else I get super bored and I don't get anything done. We're launching a new series of webinars related to senior living, and it's going to launch next week. And that just came out of an idea someone in the office came about, and it's a group of people, and we're not associated with any magazine or sponsored by anyone. It's a group of 10 folks who are really, really interesting and influential people in senior living in design and design thinking. And someone said, let's do that. Came with the idea, so I said, let's move it. So it's like I try not to overthink anything too much.
Mm-hmm.
I find that if you overthink things, you don't move things along. I look to get a lot of support. I'm into personal growth big time. I'm now, big proponent of Vistage, which is a CEO group. I don't know if you know Vistage or a lot of people who are watching, and they've given me a lot of really good guidance because you're with other entrepreneurial people in your group, and I get these amazing ideas and direction, and it's good to bounce things off of. It's try not to overthink anything too much. Go with your gut. You're gonna fail a lot of the time. You're gonna succeed, but you can't succeed without screwing something up.
Just to steer in a little bit of a different direction, since you've been interested in architecture from a very young age, if you could have lunch with any architect or designer, living or dead, who would you choose?
I think one of the most moving houses I've been in was Maison de Verre. So Pierre Chiraud would be kind of interesting to talk to. On the opposite end, Corbusier, because I walked into one of his buildings and had a spiritual experience. I'm curious. So whoever I get to meet who's in the business, I love to question.
This is something I ask all the guests that come on. If there's anything around you that's a source of meaning or inspiration, could be something you just found or something you've had for decades that you could share with us.
I had lived part-time in Chile. My partner is from Chile.
Okay.
So this house has a lot of paintings from artists from Chile. This is Pablo Casana, and it's a very large piece. It's canvas with resin on top, and it's a kind of a violent piece. It's called The Punch. This is an artist named Michael St. John, and it's a pencil drawing of Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Mikaeline Thomas? She's a very famous African-American artist. She's these huge paintings. They're based on kind of blaxploitation films from the 1970s.
Okay.
She always starts with a photograph, and this is an important photograph. It's of her mother, actually, and she did a big painting based on this. This was in her show at the Brooklyn Museum. And then these are all, actually, this is a Chilean architect. He does these paintings that are kind of wonderful, very modernist. It's a Chilean artist. You can't really see it, but they're reliefs. They're monoprints. My partner Manuel is a painter and illustrator, and this is one of his pieces. So he's a studio here. Oh, and this is a good piece. There's a really good documentary now on, maybe it's been on for a while, and Slim Aaron's a photographer.
Yeah, sure.
And this is a Kodak piece I bought. Sorry, the light is reflecting. This is Bay Pally at our house in Jamaica. So that was in Brooklyn. I just moved it down here.
Well, I really appreciate you taking us through that intimate sort of tour of your space and the art around you. And thanks again for coming onto the show. It's really nice to see you. Happy to hear that you're, continuing to think outside the box and expanding your empire. Wishing you lots of luck and hope to see you in person soon.
Thank you, Ari. You too. Thanks a lot. Thank you.